Pastor Ed here with Daily Devotions for Tuesday, March the 19th, 2024. People aren't very good at making predictions, are they? It's kind of a blanket statement, but it's pretty much true. Consider some of these. There's no reason anyone would want a computer in their home. That was said by Ken Olson, the president, chairman, founder of Digital Equipment Corp. Corporation, the maker of the big business mainframe computers, arguing against the PC in 1977. He was right. Heavier than air flying machines are impossible. Lord Kelvin, the British mathematician and physicist and president of the British Royal Society in 1895. This telephone has too many shortcomings to be seriously considered as a means of communication. The device is inherently of no value to us. This was a memo from Western Union in 1878. The world's potential market for copying machines is 5,000 at most. IBM to the eventual founders of Xerox, saying that the photocopier had no market large enough to justify production. This was back in 1959. Television won't be able to hold on to any market it captures after the first 6 months. People soon get tired of staring at a plywood box every night. Darryl Zanuck, movie producer from 20th Century Fox in 1946. Dear Mr. President, the canal system of this country is being threatened by a new form of transportation known as railroads. As you may know, Mr. President, railroad carriages are pulled at the enormous speed of 15 miles an hour by engines which, in addition to endangering life and limb of passengers, roar and snort their way through the countryside, setting fire to crops, scaring the livestock, and frightening women and children. The Almighty certainly never intended that people should travel at such breakneck speed. That's Martin Van Buren, who at the time was the governor of New York in 1830. We don't like their sound, and besides, guitar music is on the way out. Decca Recording Company rejecting the Beatles in 1962. The problem with television, again, is that people must sit and keep their eyes glued on a screen. The average American family hasn't time for it. The New York Times, writing after a demonstration at the 1939 World's Fair. Everything that can be invented has been invented. Charles Duell, the commissioner of the U.S. Office of Patents in 1899. This concept is interesting and well-formed, but in order to earn a grade better than a C, the idea must be feasible. A Yale University management professor, in response to Fred Smith's paper proposing reliable overnight delivery service. Well, Smith went on to found Federal Express, FedEx. Let's see here. King George II said in 1773 that the American colonies had little stomach for rebellion or revolution. An official of the White Star Line, speaking of the firm's newly built flagship, the Titanic, launched in 1912, declared that the ship was unsinkable. United Artists executive rejecting him as the lead in 1964 film The Best Man, said that Ronald Reagan doesn't have that presidential look. Sensible and responsible women do not want to vote. Grover Cleveland, the U.S. president, back in 1905. Law will be simplified over the next century. Lawyers will have diminished. Their fees will have been vastly curtailed. Journalist Junius Henry Brown in 1893. It doesn't matter what he does. He'll never amount to anything. Albert Einstein's teacher to Einstein's father in 1895. You better get secretarial work or get married. Emmeline Snively, the director of the Blue Book Modeling Agency, advising a would-be model in 1944 by the name of Marilyn Monroe. And finally, so many centuries after the creation, it is unlikely that anyone could find hitherto unknown lands of any value. This was the committee advising King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain regarding a proposal by Christopher Columbus in 1486. And there's more and more and more and more and more. I think that was 18 out of a list of, and that's just one list I found online, of 108 really bad predictions. We're terrible at it. When people get lucky, then they tout their ability at telling the future, but the results, the percentages are pretty dismal. And so we had that passage on Sunday about, when are the end times going to come? And the disciples asking Jesus. And here, as in a couple of other places, he's pretty clear, Jesus that is. He says, about that day or hour, no one knows. So all these people who say they do know, even to this day, they've got it all figured it out. They've cracked the Bible code. They know what's going to happen. Book of Revelation here, Daniel there. But about that day or hour, no one knows, said Jesus, neither the angels in heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. We're terrible at predicting things and really bad at predicting the end times. So what do? We're not going to know. So Jesus says, beware. Keep alert, because you're not going to know when the time comes. It's like a man going on a journey, leaves home, puts his slaves in charge, each with his own job to do, his work, commands the doorkeeper to be on watch. So he says simply, therefore be awake, for you do not know when the master of the house will come, in the evening or at midnight or at cockcrow or at dawn, or else he might find you asleep when he comes suddenly. And what I say to you, I say to all, keep awake. Keep awake. That's what Jesus said. And that's all we could do. We'll continue this conversation tomorrow. Hope you have a great day today. Until then, take care. Bye.